People don't give a fuck what you say. A lot of people do not understand this. They care about what you do. All of a sudden, you second guessing so many obstacles in my path.
I'ma hold your hand when I say
You don't think that you gonna make
it
it?
seems like there's something standing in my way. Keep relying on
It
tomorrow.
could change the entire trajectory of baseline life. You the baseline. The moment that they see you not display the things that you preach, it don't fucking matter. You feel me? What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcaster with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thigpen, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of the Meech Speaks podcast. Now, before we get started with this podcast, don't forget to head on over to your favorite streaming platform, whether that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, and leave this podcast an honest review, because this podcast deserves to grow just as much as we do. So this episode is slightly out of place, but right on time. Now, last week we were talking about self. We covered self-accountability, we talked about self-love, and we even covered self-awareness. And although I was going to close this episode out with something related to what we were already talking about, I would be remiss if I just completely didn't do an episode on this matter right here, if that makes sense. Now, earlier this week, the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps dropped a message, right? He dropped a message on social media. I'm not talking about, it wasn't cameras all around him. You feel me? It wasn't him in uniform. It was him at the house, phone right set up just like how we would set a video up. You feel me? And he kicked the message, okay? And that message was about suicide prevention. It was about brotherhood. It was about bonds. It was about taking care of the Marines. And honestly, man, like, I just want to just say, dude, like 16 years in the United States Marine Corps, man, I ain't never seen a leader do it like that. You feel me? 16 years in the United States Marine Corps, man, like, I ain't never seen a leader do it like that before. And it just brings me joy that I'm able to serve in the exact same Marine Corps that we have Sergeant Major Ruiz, you know, Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. Like, it brings me joy. You feel me? It brings me joy to see leaders utilizing social media for exactly what it is for. You feel me? Because he could have easily had combat camera out there. You feel me? Or Comstrat. He could have easily had them out there. He could have easily did it in his Deltas or his Charlies or in his service uniform. He could have easily did it like that, man. But for him to do it in his house, in a setting just like this, phone set up just like this, man, that meant a lot. But it also meant, man, just seeing him talk about something that is close to a lot of our hearts, man, because a lot of us have experienced it. A lot of us have either heard it, we know somebody. It really, oh man, dude, it make me emotional, you know, just for the simple fact that somebody is shedding light on situations like that, bringing it up, not talking about it in some like naval format, you feel me, but actually fucking talking about it. And that meant a lot. And when he closed the message out, right? Like when he closed the message out, he asked us to share it. You feel me? Share it with somebody that needs this the most. And I think that was powerful right there, bro. And to see everybody, you feel me, sharing the message. I'm talking about every time I clicked on somebody's story, Sergeant Major Ruiz was there. You feel me? The message was getting out. I even shared it. You know, come on now. You know I shared it. You feel me? You know I shared it. To see the comments, man, like, you know, the comments sharing their perspective, the comments sharing their experience, the comments just applauding them. I was there too. But that's really what social media is for. That's really what social media is for, man. To influence, to get the message out, to reach Marines that aren't necessarily in your scope of view. And what I mean by that, man, like, you can't just walk down the street and talk to that person. You know, that person probably across the country, probably across the world. That's what social media is for. And once again, Sergeant Major, thank you so much. All right? Like, thank you so much. But man, and I don't know how I even feel coming into this episode, but fuck it. Because I wouldn't be me if I didn't bring this up. I wouldn't be me. All right, I wouldn't be me if I didn't bring this up, man, but I don't know who need to hear this. I got to get this off my chest. Some of y'all are performative leaders at best, and I will just say that right now. Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps told y'all to share that message, and that's exactly what y'all did. The message was heartfelt. The message was great. The message was right on time. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Some of y'all shared that message, and you walk by a Marine that's actively showing signs like that every single day. Every day. Some of y'all shared that message and you the leading cause of why that Marine is actually having those problems to begin with. Some of y'all, man, the thing that got me the most, man, and I tried my best to ignore it. I tried my best to ignore it. But at the exact same time, it's some of you influencers that was in those comments, dropping your comment, dropping your emojis, putting in your 2 cents. But some of y'all create hateful rhetoric that be putting Marines down, making people feel out of place. And that right there just didn't sit right with me. It really didn't. A Marine going through an issue, he can't come to you. He can't even come to you because every time he comes to you, you either A, dropping your problems off on him to make his problems feel insignificant, or you completely ignoring his problem. Now, once again, man, I completely get it. We all got shit going on. But last time I checked, man, we were fucking leaders. Last time I checked, man, at the end of our ranks, it meant serving. It meant to serve those Marines. And to be honest with you, man, like it really breaks my heart, man, because it was some people that were sharing that message that literally you the leading cause of toxic leadership in the United States Marine Corps. You the main reason why a Marine want to get out because they feel alone. They feel isolated. They feel like they're not being heard. They feel like they can't utilize the fucking resources that we have in place because a lot of y'all will weaponize those exact same fucking resources. Make them feel like they wrong for using them. And then sit back and throw it in their face. So, I apologize, man, if I'm yelling in this Monday morning. I apologize, man, if I'm coming a little bit too strong on this. But at the exact same time, sharing the message was only half the battle. You actually got to live that shit. You actually got to do right by the guys. You actually got to give a fuck. So with that being said, this episode is dedicated to how can we help the Marines. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that comes to mind when we talking about helping the Marines and just being there for the guys is just leading by example. We do a great job when it comes down to it in a military fashion. You feel me? We do a great job looking great in uniform. We do a great job when it's talking about physical fitness. Can't call a Marine fat if you fat. Can't tell a Marine that he need to do better at his job if you suck at your job. Can't tell a Marine to show up on time if you constantly showing up late. But we do a piss poor job when it comes to taking care of ourselves. We do a piss poor job of that. How the hell you want your Marine to take care of his mental, but you don't even take care of yours? How the hell you want the Marine to go seek help when you won't even do it? I can't tell you how many of us our Junior Marines have seen us self-destruct, and we thought we were doing a great job of hiding it, but it was so obvious. And then we got the nerve to switch gears and say, hey man, don't forget to take care of yourself. How the fuck? How the hell am I supposed to take care of myself? You don't even take care of yourself. And I just want to stop for a second because I don't know who's hearing this right now. And if this is your first time hearing this, understand, I ain't speaking from my high horse. This your captain flying in on Experience Airlines. Because I was one of those Marines that would sit there blue in the face, tell a Marine to take care of themselves. Go to medical. If you need to, seek help. Go to therapy. I was falling apart. Full-time fucking alcoholic. Got to a point where I even showed up to a mess night completely hammered. Even ended up having to get put out of the mess night. Had to get sent home before the thing even started. I remember I was telling Marines that you need to take care of yourself and you should re-enlist. My Junior Marine looked at me and said, I'm getting out because of you. I said, what the fuck I do? He said, it's not what you did, but I don't think you actually saw me that day. And I'll never forget when he explained it to me because I remember that perspective. I was literally going through it behind closed doors, thinking I was doing a great job showing up in front of the guys, leading by example, being the leader I needed the most. But one morning, man, I had a bad night. And I was sitting in the car. I was early in the morning too, in the parking lot. And I was putting my head on the steering wheel, and you could tell that I was just fucking going through it. And he told me that he had saw me. He saw me early that morning. And I thought that I was alone. And he said, man, that was the moment right there where I was like, yeah, because I could see how bad you was going through it. That shit ate at me. But it was also a call to action. How the fuck am I going to sit there and try to tell Marines to take care of themselves when I wasn't? So when I tell you, man, lead by example, lead by fucking example. I'm not asking you to create a HIPAA violation, tell the Marine your business. But at the exact same time, we'll sit there and tell a Marine to go seek help, but they won't seek help because they feel like the help is weakness. They won't seek help because they know for a fact you wouldn't seek help and they want to be just like you. You got to be able to normalize that shit, man. You got to be able to let them know ain't nothing wrong with it. You got to be able to show them, man, that in order to stay in this fight for a long time, you got to take care of yourself, both mind and body. And what kills me the most is that we'll sit there and brag about tuition's assistance and how we able to go to college. We'll sit there, brag about how we got our VA set up, what percentage we about to get. We'll sit there, talk about Skill Bridge, talk about all the good in the Marine Corps, but then you won't even mention how you also utilize the resources so you can fucking stay in the fight. That's the reason why the Marines don't want to use it. The next one, when I think about just taking care of the guys, it's just simple, dude. Hear the Marines, don't challenge the Marines. I don't know how many times, man, I've heard about it or I've even seen it or I've just had to witness it myself, is that you try to tell somebody about what's going on with you and they heard you, but they ain't really fucking hear you. Or they heard you and instead of just giving you some realistic advice or at least letting you know that you've been heard, they fucking tell you about their issues just to make yours feel insignificant. And I don't know who need to hear this, but if you are one of those type of people that do this, you can't be surprised that the Marines don't want to fucking talk to you. You can't be surprised that the Marine tells you that he feels like he's not heard. You can't be surprised that the Marine feels like he's alone. Because every time he shows some type of, transparency, vulnerability, and opens up to you, you slam the door right in his fucking face. You give him these short ass answers just to let him know like, hey, yeah, I acknowledge what you're saying, but I got other shit I got going on. Or God forbid, you do got shit really going on and you hear his problems and feel like, hey, man, my problem's bigger than yours. I'm going to tell you this right now because I don't know who need to hear this. Everybody ain't on their third motherfucking divorce. Everybody ain't dealing with fucking marital issues, bro. You get a Dream Marine that comes to you, dog. You got to really understand. These people is still, let me rephrase that, not just these people, these young adults are 18, 19, 20, 21. They ain't lived like how you lived yet. They ain't experienced how you've experienced yet. The issues that they facing right now are big because these are the biggest issues they've ever faced. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. So when you try to tell somebody about your issues just to minimize theirs, man, you're doing them a disservice. And then you surprised that he drank those problems away. But I even switch gears because it is some of y'all that are dealing with real live marital issues, real live family issues, real live financial issues, real live issues in general. And you try to tell somebody that's had experience just because you were able to overcome it, utilizing the methods that you created for yourself, that don't mean those methods were good. I'll say that. I was going through a whole fucking separation, dog. I wasn't using me as an example because the way that I was coping, the way that I was dealing with it, I knew that wasn't right. I knew it wasn't right to tell somebody. So this shit really works up and down, dude. You just because you experienced it don't mean that some of the methods that you utilize were even the correct methods. And the people that are talking to you, man, really read the room. You got you a 21-year-old person telling you about some issues that they have. And it may seem small to you, but that's because you experienced life. Cope with it however you needed to cope with it. That's probably the biggest thing that he's ever fucking dealt with. And he's coming to you, man, for guidance. And at some point, we have to have some type of self-awareness to realize, like, hey, either A, I may not be equipped for this, or B, the shit that I'm about to say may not be the right thing to say. And I need to go ahead and point him in the right direction. I think the third thing that really just flows with this entire episode, man, give them fucking resources. Don't weaponize the resources. As a young Marine, I always heard that if I go see the wizard, then my career over with. I'll be right on down in Balboa on a grippy sock vacation in a jacket that makes me hug myself. I was told that if I ever asked for help, I would be, that's weakness. I was told to stop being a bitch. I've been told that mental health is for bitches. When you tell people these things, you cannot be surprised about the thing that is going to come next. You can't be. A lot of people don't know, man. The Marine Corps has a lot of resources. The Marine Corps has a lot of resources. Let me rephrase that. The military has a lot of resources. It's a whole section dedicated to, in most hospitals, for mental health. It's a whole section. Chaps be walking around the battalion, showing up in the companies. Anybody want to come talk to me? Nobody's saying a damn thing because they don't want to be considered weak. Because they know that if word ever got out that they were utilizing those resources, they know that that'd be weaponized against them. Their career could be at stake. Their reputation could be jeopardized. They could it just lose good favor in front of everybody. So when I tell you, give them resources, don't weaponize them. Come on, don't weaponize them. I remember working in SACO and Marines would come by, man, talking about, hey, I just need resources to get help, man. And then they will follow up with, hey, but I don't have a problem. Brother, yes, you do. That's why you're here. That's why you're with me. That's why you're talking to me. And I want to tell you, just because you have a problem, that don't mean that there's something wrong with you. Motherfuckers have problems every single day. But you doing something better than what other people would naturally even do. Instead of ignoring your problems or trying to act like those problems don't even exist, you facing those problems to fix them. So let's get that piece out the way. I can't stress this enough, man. Sergeant Major shared a great message. But it'll fall on deaf ears if we gonna weaponize the resources. It's gonna fall on deaf ears if we make the Marine feel inadequate because they utilizing them. It's gonna fall on deaf ears, man. If it means nothing, honestly, the message means nothing. If we tell the Marine to get help, and then as soon as he gets help, we punish him for it. Just being honest. And lastly, just give a fuck. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all, man, like y'all say y'all care about the Marines, but we know you don't give a fuck about them. You feel me? You love what they can do for you. You love how your fit rep look when it say that you lead Marines. You love the fact that you in leadership positions, but some of y'all really don't give a fuck about them. And honestly, man, if you really want to help the guys, just care about the Marines. Care about them. Don't ask some superficial questions just to make it seem like you care. Actually give a fuck. Actually do things that show that you give a fuck about them. You feel me? And if you have to ask yourself, what does give a fuck actually even look like? You're already in a bad spot. Keeping the buck with you. If you got to ask yourself, what does that look like? How do I? You already don't. Because you could easily go out there right now and have a conversation with that Marine and learn about them. You feel me? I can't tell you how many times I had a conversation with somebody and they didn't think that I was listening. And I come back and I ask them about the same thing that we just had a conversation about to see if they even did it. Can't tell you, man. How many times, man, like I'm willing to go to war for a guy, for one of the guys. Why? Because I actually care. A lot of y'all, man, like y'all don't really care, man. Y'all just care about the idea of having them. And I just really want to just say, man, like if you really want to take care of the guys, just give a fuck. And as we come to a close to this episode, I really just want to just say this, man, because I don't know who need to hear this. Never in my 16 years have I ever really seen a leader really talk about the issues or just out there just being a man of the people the way that I see Sergeant Major Ruiz do. And I am grateful and honored that I'm even able to serve in the same United States Marine Corps as that man. And I just want to just say, man, for him to even put that message out there, it means everything. But that message, man, it's only half the battle if we share it. We also got to do it. We also got to be there. We actually got to create that bond. We actually got to give a fuck about the guys. We actually got to point them to the resources. Hell, some of us need to utilize those resources. So I would tell anybody that's hearing this episode, don't just share the message, do the message. And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Meech Speaks. Meech is spelled M-E-E-C-H. Stay hungry, stay motivated. I'm out.